Hi everyone, it's me, B Atticali Sunflower. So I thought I'd hop on today to do a flip through and first impressions of a deck that I received yesterday. The deck is called the Knight-Waite Tarot deck and it's by Michelle Knight-Waite. Now I have opened this deck because I received it yesterday and taken off all the plastic cellophane. So the deck comes in this nice kind of like cigarette type top box, which I like. It comes with a little white book and 81 cards. The cards are gilded. So before we go into the cards, let's have a look at the little white book. So the little white book, it's not pictorial. It gives a little bit of an introduction. Then it goes into the major arcana. It doesn't talk about the reversals in the little white book. Instead, it guides you to her guidebook. The minor arcana is written in the same way. A few sentences, no pictures. It then goes into the court cards. Again, a few sentences, no reversals, no pictures. It gives you some reading, so it gives you a one card reading and describes that. It then takes you to her webpage where you can get a Celtic cross tarot reading. It says it's free. So there's also a astrological in 3 birth compatibility charts if you go to her horoscope page. And then it again introduces you to her guidebook. So it says, welcome to the Knight-Waite Tarot Guidebook. Using this guide alongside your tarot will help you tune into the story the cards are telling you, enjoying wisdom and support right when you need it. Together with your cards, this book will open the door to your higher intuition and reveal astonishing truths about yourself, your life, and the people around you. The Knight-Waite Tarot Guidebook features full interpretations of every card in the deck, sample spreads showing different ways to conduct a reading, and a space for recording your thoughts. Okay, so I did buy the guidebook. Let's have a look how many pages there are first of all in this guidebook. So there's 231 pages, whereas the little white book that you get with the deck has only got 31 pages, so that's about a 200-page difference. So I would say it's worth getting the full guidebook if you can. So the inside of the guidebook is this lovely gold, and it does match the gold on the tarot cards. Not exact, but it's quite a good match. So it says here, dedicated to my wife, Kathy Knight-Waite, the full moon over the ocean of my heart. So it's got a really kind of clear contents page. The paper is kind of like an off-white, which I prefer because it's not so glary. And it's got an introduction. It does a deep dive into the tarot, and when it outlines each of the major arcana cards. It then goes into the minor arcana in terms of suits, so wands, cups, swords, pentacles. It talks about the court cards within the suits, gives you a sample spread, tarot superstars and acknowledgements. It'd be good to see the tarot superstars. So I will read a bit of the introduction. Hello, gorgeous souls. A huge welcome to the Knight-Waite Tarot. I often say I was born with a deck of tarot cards in my hands. My mother was a psychic tarot reader, so the cards were my childhood playthings. The tarot was my constant companion, my guide, my lifelong saviour, and without doubt, the compass I used to create my future. Of all the decks, the Rider-Waite Smith has always been my most beloved. I see the Knight-Waite Tarot as a re-imaging of this iconic deck and my love letter to the Rider-Waite Smith deck, specifically to Pamela Coleman Smith, the illustrator. The fabulous maverick Pamela Coleman Smith was an all-round remarkable soul, half Jamaican, queer, a suffrage, an artist who was way ahead of her time. Perhaps the reason why the Rider-Waite Smith is the most popular tarot of all time is because Pamela hid her magic in plain sight. I wanted to do this project because although I have the most profound respect for the Rider-Waite Smith and other original cards, I've always felt genuine frustration with their lack of diversity because the original decks were created in a time of even deeper oppression. They don't honour different sexualities and gender expressions and are generally white-centric. I think Pamela would have approved of a more inclusive vision, which is what led me on the journey to create this deck and to carry her vision on into a new, more exclusive age. Pamela gave this essential advice which has stood the test of time and remains one of the best approaches to assessing the full wisdom of the tarot. And then the advice states, after you have found how to tell a simple story, put in more details, learn from everything, see everything, and above all, feel everything. Find eyes within, look for the door into the unknown country. Isn't that gorgeous? So there's a bit more, but I'll leave that. And then I read a little bit as well about diving deep into the tarot. The tarot is an endless learning journey that has no beginning, middle or end. Once you begin that journey, your tarot cards are your constant companion. They will provide you with guidance, wisdom and answers right when you need them. They will open the doors to your higher intuition and reveal astonishing truths about yourself, your life and the people around you. I have had the privilege of teaching people the tarot for over 35 years, and it still astonishes me and delights me that people can pick up the deck and instantly read like a pro. Others may take longer to develop an affinity with the cards, but the truth is there is no right or wrong way to read them. The cards are just a gateway to our own psychic abilities. They link us to the universal wisdom, but is our interpretation of them that leads to our greatest discoveries and builds our relationship with the cards. So that's just the first two paragraphs of diving deep into the tarot deck. So she goes to the major arcana, the magic in the deck, and what I like about the layout of this is that you get a full colour picture of the card. You get the archetype's name, so for example the Fool, and then in 3 paragraphs it gives you the author's take on the Fool, and then it gives you the reverse meaning. So I will read you the Fool card just so you've got an idea on how this book is laid out. The Fool is a spark of the stars in your infinite heart, calling you to tumble into the unknown. Curiosity, your sturdy parachute, guiding you to another soul location. Boundless potential is woven in trust, all-knowing, innocent and free. Behold the glorious Fool. The Fool is arguably the most powerful card in the tarot, as it's similar to a magic dice. It leads you to the entire deck and a world of unlimited possibility. It's pure, magiconistic. The Fool calls for a leap of faith, to try things differently and dive headlong into new experiences which can transform our soul path instantly. The Fool is everything and nothing. The Fool trusts and knows the cycle of life is just a game, that whatever situation they land in, they will learn and they will be safe. To have the pure heart of a child and the wisdom of the ancients. When the Fool turns up in your tarot reading, an opportunity will appear. It is time to be spontaneous and embrace the unknown. Listen to the call of your wild heart and be open to doing things you've never done before. By taking that brave step, a new path unfolds right in front of you. Trust the moment and believe in your ability to adapt and thrive. The Fool urges us to fiercely throw ourselves into a fresh chapter. Reversed, the Fool tells us to look before you leap. If you jump, where will you land? Time to trust your intuition and to avoid being reckless or self-destructive. We all know the difference between acting in good faith and doing something that we have terrible consequences. Don't attempt to enter into a situation that you know will be disaster. Ask yourself, is there another way, another possibility can I choose? So that's the kind of writing style for all of the major arcana cards. So let's go into the minor arcana and see how that's laid out. So the minor arcana is laid out the same way. Picture, the upright meaning and the reverse meaning. It doesn't seem to be skimping with the minors, because a lot of guidebooks, in my opinion, they give detailed explanations for the major arcana cards, and then when it comes to the minor arcana cards, they kind of skimp. So I'm glad that this one gives the minor arcana just as good, you know, meanings. Then it's got here sample spreads. The only limit on how to conduct a tarot reading is your imagination. As you get familiar with the cards, you will begin to create your own spreads that allow you to ask different questions of the tarot depending on your personal situation. For now though, I've included 2 basic spreads to get you started. For each, I have given an explanation of what it is and how to use it, and I've included journaling space and prompts for you to record your reactions. So it's not pictorial, but it just explains how to do a 1-card reading. Then this is like a journal sheet, so I guess you can photocopy this, and because it's like a A4 roughly this way. So you put your date. You can either stick a card that you don't use or a photograph of a card. Sometimes in my journals, if I've got like a tarot deck that I'm not gelling with and it's pocket size, I tend to stick it into my journals. And then these are the questions that this is the spread is saying. Do you have a specific question in mind when you pulled the card? And if so, what was it? What is your response to the card? What thoughts came to you and what feelings does it inspire? What does the card interpretation tell you generally or specifically in relation to your question? What do the colours of the images mean to you? What does the card say about the key areas of your life? Love, work, money, health and spirituality. Has this process given you a message about the day or an answer to your questions? Record it here along with other thoughts or impressions. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. And there's a lot of paper space here to do that. But I would try and photocopy it and maybe put it in a A4 ring binder. But that's just my own personal way of doing this. After that, it says the 6 steps of insight. There is no doubt that the tarot is a powerful tool of divination and transformation, but the uses of tarot cards go far beyond just looking at how the future may unfold. Tarot cards can be used to unlock insights into ourselves and others and allow us to transform our future. What's more, you don't need to be a tarot expert or consult a professional reader to do this. You can use your tarot deck whether you understand all the traditional meanings of the cards or not. It's simple but liberating technique that I call the 6 steps of insight. So step 1, first of all, let go of all the traditional interpretations of the cards before you start this exercise. We aren't going to interpret the cards but connect with them on a soul resonance level. This requires us to let go of any desire to predict outcomes or overlay the cards which we may want to happen. If you don't know how to interpret the cards, congratulations, there'll be no preconceptions to hamper you. Step 2. Now lay out your entire tarot deck face up in front of you. You can lay them out in order or just as they come out of the pack. You do not have to put them, all the major and arcana, or all the suits together. Once you have done this, sit back and allow the eyes to take in your entire deck. Again, don't think about the meaning of the cards. Allow our impressions to form the colours and the feeling the image invoke in you. Step 3. After you have sat with the cards for a few moments, I want you to choose the 6 cards you are most drawn to and like. Again, for this exercise to work, your choice needs to be based on your impressions of the cards, the feelings they invoke in you, the colours, the images you are most drawn to and resonate with, as opposed to what you might want to happen in your life. You may want a new love to come into your life, but don't pick the Lovers or the Two of Cups just because of that. Go with your instincts. Step 4. Now choose the 6 cards you like the least. Perhaps your choice here is influenced by the dark colours, images, or difficult of sleepless nights. Or you discover that for some reason right now you really don't like the card that is otherwise light, bright, and positive. If that's the case, and it can be, then add it to your least liked. Remember, this is all about how you feel about the cards, not about the meanings per se. Then step 5, arrange the likes in a row and your 6 dislikes underneath. So here you'd put the cards that you like, and here you'd put the cards that you dislike. You may find that you have unconsciously selected more than one pair of cards representing the opposites. Again, place them so one is above the other. Also look to see if the cards are telling you a story in some way. Is there a link you can see between them? If so, arrange them again so that the story unfolds in a linear fashion. Step 6. Finally, once again, letting go of any traditional interpretations of the cards. Do these cards remind you of anyone or anything that has been or is going on in your life right now? Again, this is all about your gut reaction to your cards and thoughts and feelings they invoke. So that's it. That's the 6 steps. I won't read the rest of it because it's a bit long, but there's another sort of like task. So you put the date, you put your 6 likes, your 6 dislikes, and then it says here, what made you choose your 6 likes? What feelings did the cards invoke in you? What insights do you have about why you choose them and what they could represent? Then it says, what made you choose the 6 dislikes? What feelings did the cards invoke in you? What insights do you have about why you chose them and what they could represent? Then, what opposites did you arrange above and below each other and why? What changes to the order of the cards did you make so that they could tell their story? And what is that story? That's interesting. And do these cards remind you of anyone or anything that has been or is going on in your life right now? So that's very interesting. So she's getting you to look at the 6 cards that you like, look at the 6 cards that you don't like, and kind of work with that. So this is kind of like, to me, like an intuition kind of test. And there's loads of like sheets again, which you can photocopy just in case you run out. Then it's got here our tarot superstars. These empowering magical beings paved the way for our freedoms, dazzling souls who changed the world. And yet many of them never got the true recognition they deserved. I feel honoured to have them in this deck. May these magical and magnificent spirits shine eternally on. So I'm just going to read the first one, which is Pamela Coleman Smith. Visionary Aquarius with Mercury in Aquarius and Fierce Moon in Leo. Pamela Coleman Smith is the forgotten illustrator who created the Rider-Waite Tarot images in 1912. Fondly nicknamed Pipsy, her bright spirit was a creative well of wonder, probably lesbian, queer, and certainly suffrage, and a member of the Golden Dawn. She was born to a Jamaican mother and a white American father. She was great friends with the famous lesbian Edith Craig, who was the model of the face of the Queen of Wands. Coleman Smith spent 40 years living with her partner and fellow spiritist Nora Lake. In later life, they opened a retreat for Catholic priests in Cornwall. Pixie started off as a set designer and then an illustrator for W.B. Yeats, Bram Stoker and others. Despite creating the images from what became the most popular tarot deck of all times, she wrote a letter saying how little she was paid for it and never earned royalties. Dying virtually penniless, we owe the everlasting debt of gratitude to this magical pioneer, artist and extraordinary soul who gave us the gift of the most profound and successful tarot deck in the world. I like the fact that she's said so much information about Pixie. Not a lot of people want to acknowledge her as being mixed race for some reason. I've noticed that. But I like the fact that the author has actually acknowledged that. That makes me happy. So there's 1, 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 tarot superstars, and they're a mixture of both the major and the minor arcana, which I like because at least, you know, the minor arcana, which is about everyday life, there's superstars there to kind of acknowledge those cards. So in the acknowledgements, deep gratitude to a dear friend and long-time collaborator, one of the best astrologers and psychics I know, Helen Harvey Watts. She has not only edited this, but has shared her incredible insights as she pushed, cajoled, and threw me over the line to get it finished. To my designer, Flor Rangel, who is a genius, my eternal gratitude for your bright brilliance and for sharing the journey with me. To my son, Julian, who I'm hoping will carry the love of tarot into the next generation. Hint, hint. And to you, dear reader, for supporting the labour of love. Much love and magic, Michelle Knight-Waite. So this says Lyndall Mansfield, 10th of March 1972 to 1st of October 2021. So this is like a dedication. In loving memory of my soul sister, the enchanting, bewitched, kind, original, unique Pisces Pank Mutha goddess, Lyndall Manford. She contained the magic of all tarot cards. She's dancing in a different dimension, yet we carry her in our spirit for eternity. That's so nice. Then it also gives acknowledgements to the tarot deck, which is here. And I'm going to go through the cards now. Okay, so that's a brilliant book. Now, tarot cards, as I said earlier on, are edged in a nice gold. I did kind of nip it when I was opening it up with the knife because I was really excited yesterday. The cards have a really kind of like matte kind of feel. If I'm going to compare it to a regular RWS card, you can see that they're slightly taller and wider. So they're kind of like big for a tarot deck, but I wouldn't say that they're as big as an oracle deck. Just maybe in between a tarot and oracle deck. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards. So this deck is a collage deck, and I must admit I really do like my collage decks. So the Fool, I like that it's a woman of colour, but she's got the backpack or the rack. She's got her rose, she's looking up to cosmos, so she's not concentrating, and her dog is standing in front of her, kind of protecting her in a way so that she doesn't fall over that cliff. I also like how the cards are like a card within a card, or like a Polaroid, an old-fashioned Polaroid photograph. It's got like a nice white border, and then it's got this kind of nice scene of the ocean behind it. So again, this is the Magician. I don't know what it is on its head, but you know, up above, so below, it's got all the suits, you know, so the swords, cups, pentacles and wands. And you can see the garden with the roses, and then the background is a continuation of the garden. So you've got Pamela Coleman Smith as the High Priestess. Love that. The Empress. And I like the fact that it's a fuller figured woman. You know, sitting down, getting comfortable in her garden. The Emperor. This man looks kind of upright, mature, got a lot of life experience. I love the ankh, the crystals, you know, the world in his hand, you know, so the world is his oyster for sure. The Hierophant, you know, looks very professional. I love the keys in the background. So the Lovers card, there's a few choices. So you've got a heterosexual couple, and I love that this couple is kind of mature, which to me can say that, you know, you can find love at a mature age, or maybe long-term contract, maybe a long-term marriage. Then you have the same-sex lesbian relationship with two women, and you also have the same-sex male relationship with two men. The Chariot card, you got the black and white Sphinx. You know, see there are Rider-Waite associations in this card. The Strength, I love that this Strength is pregnant, because in most cards it's not usually the Empress that's pregnant, and sometimes you might see the Queen of Pentacles pregnant as well. You know, she's holding her belly, she's staying strong. You know, it could be a complicated pregnancy and she's getting the strength there to go on. It could be that this person could be on their own and they've got the strength to carry the pregnancy through as a single parent. So you've got the Hermit. She's got her lamp there, ready to fly away into the wilderness to think, you know. Got the Wheel of Fortune. Justice. You know, she's not blindfolded, but she looks powerful and strong. You know, she's got her sword there and her scales. The Hanged One. Death. Very dark, kind of like black and white. She's got devil horns coming out of her, and that's like a skeletor there. Temperance. Finding that equal mix. The Devil. You can see the Capricorn horns. The couple are chained by the neck, but it's quite a loose chain, so they can unloose that if they want to. I love this Tower card. You can see the lightning, you can see the fire, you can see the people flying out of the window. Gorgeous. The Star. And I love how this deck is used in different ethnicities. For the Moon card, there's two moon cards. You've got this one, which I like, my favourite one. And then you've got another moon card. You've got the Sun. For child, but the child's not a toddler in this one. Judgment. And the World. You've got the Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands, 3. I like the fact that this person is four-figured. The Four of Wands. Oops, daisy. The Five of Wands. They look like they're working in a team, don't they? Of choreography, dancing. Six of Wands. 7. This person looks like a strong character. Standing her ground there. 8 of Wands. 9 of Wands. This person looks exhausted. Then they're looking back. And 10 of Wands. I like this 10 of Wands because it looks like she wants to delegate those wands, you know, instead of being overloaded. Or she's managing her time and not letting the wands, you know, overwhelm her. So you've got the Page. She just looks like a, which to me this is the age group that I will call a page, because sometimes in some cards some of the pages look older than 21, but this page looks younger than 21. So you've got the Knight on a nice horse. the Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands. And I like that in the Wands cards that there's a lot of fiery red background to represent the element of fire. So moving on to the suit of cups, you've got the Ace of Cups. Look at the jewellery and the hand jewellery. You've got the Two of Cups. That's the same sex couple. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. This person's like not paying attention to that cup above in the clouds. Five of Cups. She's reflecting on all the hard times, not looking back to see the positive. Oh, I love this Six of Cups. Looks like a boy and girl twins playing together. Happy memories. Seven of Cups with all those choices. But remember, not all these choices are good choices. Eight of Cups. And she's walking away from this emotional situation, but she's looking back. You know, so maybe she's walking away with sadness. Nine of Cups. This person looks very, very comfortable. You know, they're counting their money and looking at their wealth. And Ten of Cups. That could be a generation of family or even just siblings. So you've got the Page, which again is a younger person, which I like. The Knight. This looks like Kanye West to me. The Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups. And again, the cups have a lot of blue in the cards. So moving on to the suit of Swords, which is always my favourite suit. You've got the Ace, and again, the hand jewellery and wrist jewellery. The Two of Swords. It looks like she's made her choice there, because she's looking towards this card, this one. Her face is not in the middle. She's made that choice. Oh, this is an interesting Three of Swords. So she's inside a heart, and she's got all these knives there. So maybe she's coming to terms with her grief and pulling those knives out and working on herself. Four of Swords. She's taking sanctuary to have a nice rest. Five of Swords. I always see this card as somebody taking credit for somebody else's work. Six of Swords, moving away to safety. Sorry for the background noise, it's rubbish day, so that's the lorries picking up the refuse from outside. So you've got the Seven of Swords. It's like a poser to me. Show off. Eight of Swords. Again, this is mental entrapment, because, you know, she can get out, it's quite wide, and this isn't loose, so she can always free herself. The water's not deep, so she's not going to drown. Nine of Swords. Stressing at night. And the Ten of Swords. It looks like, you know, this person is getting up from, you know, that deep wound, and she's working on herself to kind of get over and move on from the trauma. Again, the Page is a child, which I like. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. So moving on to the suit of Pentacles. Again, you've got that lovely hand jewellery. I wish that there'd been some nice nail art though, because I do like nail art in cards. The Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. She's holding on to the money. Four of Pentacles. The budgeting card. Five of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Seven. 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and 10 of Pentacles. Again, this looks like generations of a family. So you've got the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and oops, the Daisy. So the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. What a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Now I've got, if I was to pair this deck in a reading, I've got 2 decks in mind. So the first deck is the Stretch Tarot. So let's take this out. And the reason why I'd probably use this deck is because they're both collage decks and they're both UK created. So let's see if they go. Somewhat. I think this deck is more Victorian, even though this deck does have Victorian kind of archetypes. Okay, so let me try my second pairing, Rosebud Tarot. I think this is more of a better fit to me. You know, it's got the white border, and this has got the white border within the picture. So this is also a good pairing for me. Plus they're both collage decks. I was thinking about the Relative Tarot, but it's a bit glossy, and I don't think that would pair as nicely because both the Rosebud and the Stretch Tarot are matte finish. Okay, so let me give these cards a shuffle. Okay, shuffle nice overhand. Click, 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 which I love to hear my cards do. Oh, I love that sound. Now, are they flexible enough for a bridge shuffler or a riffle shuffler? I'd say they are. They kind of flex back into shape. So what are my first impressions of this deck? I absolutely love it. I do like collage decks. I do like the Victorian era, so that those 2 in itself are a bonus. I also like the fact that it's very inclusive. It shows different races, different sexualities, different abilities in a way as well, because the Empress, to me, you know, it looks like she's having difficulty getting into that chair, so maybe she's got problems walking, only one knows. It also shows different ages. And what I like about this deck is that the court cards, to me, are age appropriate. So when I learnt the tarot, I was always told that the pages were people under 21, the knights were people under the age of 30, and the queen and kings were masculine and feminine people over the age of 40. And to me, the archetypes in the court cards kind of reflect that age. So I like that. So all in all, it's a very nice deck. I also like, you know, that the fact that it's a Polaroid photograph and the scene stretches out. I like the fact that there's a bigger guidebook, and I like the fact that the creator introduces the bigger guidebook in the little white book. So I will add links in the description bar to both the tarot deck and the separate guidebook if anybody's interested in purchasing. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.